I wanted to talk to you about Christian Benteke and the penalty incident. Do you have any sympathy for Christian Benteke? He's the main striker at Crystal Palace, hasn't scored any goals all season. It's injury time. There's a chance to be the match winner. The confidence that'll give you, like, you feel as though you have a responsibility to your team to score goals, and here's a chance for you to be the hero.
Well, I think that is a case you could put forward, Nathan. But like in professional football, it shouldn't happen. Like if you have a designated penalty taker, the penalty taker takes the decision. The player can't say, "I'm going to give me that ball." I said, well, there was one there a while ago, and there was a row. Do you remember who took the penalty and the fellow missed it as well? If you have a designated penalty kicker, a penalty kicker doesn't become a penalty kicker just when the penalty kick is given. I was a penalty taker for Leeds for 10 years. You live with being a penalty taker. I knew before every match, before we ever went on the pitch, this is where I'm going to put the ball. That's what I'm going to do. I don't care about the goalkeeper because, again, it's a mental thing, goalkeeping. My attitude was, well, if there's a goal there, the goalkeeper's in the middle. If I knock it into one corner, a 50% chance straight away of getting it right because he's got to go one way or the other. So you have that in your head. And the second thing was, if he does guess right, I'm going to hit this hard enough to beat him. Because when we played the home match, I used to go on Saturday morning with Dave Harvey, the goalkeeper, reserve goalkeeper sometimes, and practice the penalties.
Right.
That's what I was going to do. Regardless of the goalkeeper, who he was, what he was, I'm going to watch the ball. That's what I'm going to do.
And would that be half an hour every single one to the same corner?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do today. Of course, next week it could be different. You couldn't do it away from home because you wouldn't want to be seen doing. But generally speaking, but all week you live with that. You know what I mean? I could think on a Tuesday before a Saturday match, if I got a penalty, this is what I'm doing. You become a penalty taker, right? So you don't give somebody the ball in the last second, right? And the manager went mad about it, quite rightly, because he's the designated penalty taker, and it's a state of mind in doing it, and it goes against all the discipline from a manager. You know, the manager Hodgson would hate that. He'd say, "What's he taking the penalty for? That's our designated penalty taker there." Right? And I had an experience with it at Leeds myself because we had a lad called Albert Johansson playing. Very, very good player. And we were in a European Cup match and we were winning 6-0 or 7-0 and he scored 2 goals. And it was the last couple of minutes. And the crowd was shouting for Albert to take the penalty. And I said no. Because I knew if it was a semi-final match and a minute to go, Albert would have been one of the last persons that would want to take the penalty kick.
Right.
So you get the good days and the bad days.
Yeah.
And that was my attitude. Now, it didn't do me any favours whatsoever with the crowd.
They wanted to see him get the hat-trick.
Yeah, they didn't like it at all.
And what was his reaction?
He was okay.
And did you have to go up and forcefully grab the ball off him?
He never took the ball. He never took the ball, to be fair. He never took the ball. But he would have done. I mean, he didn't come and say, take it off out of my hands or anything. I would have given him a belt of the ball if he tried that. But the crowd was shouting, you know, as the match was over. And I thought, no, there's good days. You have your good days and your bad days. There's easy penalties. There's difficult penalties. When the pressure's on in 6th round of a cup and you're 1-0 down, or you know, I remember playing against Swansea when they were in the 4th division. We were 1 down, playing terrible. This was going to be a real upset. We got a penalty. It was one of the most nervous I've ever been taking a penalty. You'd think it was nothing. Actually, I went on to win the match, but we were really, really struggling. Albert wouldn't come forward to take
it then.
You know, but that was my attitude to it. But the crowd didn't like it. I went down in the list of favoritism.
You scored it, I presume.
I scored it, yeah. But they didn't care about that. We were 6-up anyway. You know what I mean, Nathan? But that was only my attitude to it. No, I'm the penalty taker, and good days, bad days, I'm going to take the penalties.
Did you relish the penalty taking? Did you relish the nerves, almost the responsibility that came with it?
I wouldn't say I relished it. Because it is a responsibility, and you're expected to score penalties. So you have to do it. But I lived. What happened was when I went to Leeds first, I think we had a lad called Willie Bell was taking the penalties. He missed a few. Somebody else was taking them and they missed a few. So I was down the list. I didn't say, I want to take them. And then we played in a match. Billy was taking penalties. He scored a couple, but we played Blackpool. I'll never forget Blackpool in a night match. He missed 2 on the trot. And I'd missed one before that. So he stopped.
So you were in.
He was stopped taking them. So then I didn't volunteer for anything. I mean, Ravi must have said, you have a go. So, which I did. But I wasn't saying, I want to take it. But when I was taking it, I thought, well, that's it. I'm going to have the responsibility of doing it now. And whether it's a big match or small match or a middle match, I'm the penalty taker. And that's it.
Did you see it as a mental battle between you and the goalkeeper? Did you feel you could psych him out of it?
Well, yeah. Well, it was. Well, what my attitude to penalty was: don't psych yourself out of it.
Right.
Right? Because you don't know what he's going to do. You can only concentrate what you do. But you can get yourself in a certain frame of mind. What I mentioned early on, when you go out to take the penalty, if you put it one corner or the other, in your head, not in your head, but mentally, I have a 50% chance of scoring. Anyway, never look at the goalkeeper. Because if you look at a goalkeeper, they're big, they get bigger and bigger. And there's less room in where you see it, depending on your mentality. But that's usually what happens. So you don't look at it. You have in your head, this is what I'm going to do. If the goalkeeper goes the right way, but I'm assuming when I was practicing penalties, the goalkeeper, if I'm going to hit it to the left, the goalkeeper's going to go to his left. So I've got to hit it hard enough and well enough that even if he goes that way, he's not going to stop it. Right? So all the time you're using your own mentality for the penalties. Because if you go into a penalty and you haven't done all this, you say, well, if he goes to the left, he might guess the right way. All the things go through your head. And you finish up looking at the goalkeeper instead of the ball. And you're a bag of nerves. Whereas if all week, you see, you live with being a penalty taker. All week you think, okay, Monday I might think we're playing Chelsea on the Saturday. This is what I'm going to do. Say Peter Bonetti was the goalkeeper. I might have scored a penalty against him before. Do I go the same way? Do I go a different way? And I know he's thinking the same, right? But I can't do anything about what he's thinking. I'm going to say, right, I don't care what happens. That's where I'm going to put it. So you live with all that. So your nerves are not so bad. You've made up your mind all week. This is what I'm going to do. If you go to a penalty kick and you haven't made up your mind, you probably won't score.